Good morning, everybody. It is 11:58 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we are going to look at earthquakes that have occurred up until now. I will be posting this video at 6 p.m. this evening, along with any updated earthquakes from this afternoon. So anyways, this is NCWQ Explorer, and our first earthquake we're going to look at is in the Taiwan region. And first, let me get my sound all the way up so that y'all can hear it. Oops, hit the wrong button. Okay, that should work better now. All right, our first earthquake is a 4.0 Taiwan region, and it was 10 kilometers deep, 36 kilometers east-southeast of Keelung, Taiwan. Now, I have not looked at any of these regions yet, so you're looking at them with me at the same time. So we can see that this earthquake is out here, and it is near the continental rift boundary, and this volcano, which is a Kai Shantou, and it is a stratovolcano. Our next earthquake is a 4.3 off the coast of El Salvador. It was 10 kilometers deep and 139 kilometers south of Acajunta, Acahuita, El Salvador. Population 22,700. You can see that I have put in some new things onto Google Earth, so it helps to understand what's in the area. So this here is a subduction zone. This here is a continental rift boundary, and this earthquake is occurring next to both of them. Down here, you can see this is a continental convergent boundary, so that's here. And then this is all the volcanoes along Nicaragua, Honduras, and Guatemala. We'll move on to our next earthquake, which is a 4.7 in eastern Turkey. So they're still having aftershocks and mini aftershocks, and I'm not going to do all the earthquakes for Turkey. So there was a 4.0 in the Banda Sea. It was 10 kilometers deep, and it was 85 kilometers south-southeast of Mahi, Indonesia. Guys, please remember to like, subscribe, and share my videos. It helps me to have the algorithm with YouTube. Also, I've been noticing that I'm losing like a person a day on my channel, so that's kind of strange. So this here is, let me see if I can get it to come up again, the subduction zone, continental transform fault, and this is a continental convergent boundary here. This is Bandanara, which is a caldera, and that's volcano here. And you can see the island here. Don't know if there might be any views here. I don't see any. Let's see. You can see these lines here that run through. There is something interesting I'm going to show you that I did download. And before I do the next earthquake, we're going to go over here and I'll show you. You see these arrows. This shows the movement of the way the land is going. So this arrow here shows it going this way, this way, this way, subduction, this way, this way, this way. So I found it interesting with this, this is going this way. So I was able to find a graph that I forgot that I had on my maps that I could download to show people which way the plates are actually moving. So you can see this one here, it's a convergent arrow. And it shows how far it's moving per year. Like this one is 78 millimeters per year. Okay, we're going to move on to the next one. So that was a 4.0 band to sea. Let me get lost again. Okay, there it is. Then we have a 4.7 northern Peru. And it was 106 kilometers deep and 112 kilometers north of Barranca, Peru. This one looks like it might be in the forest area. Zona Reservada Santiago Camena. So it's a nature reserve. And you can see where the volcanoes are up here. Now, let me see here. Try to pull up something. I think I have Peru on here somewhere, so let me see if I can pull it up. Might do it in order. There we go, Peru. Now, we'll put in that location for the earthquake. We'll see where it's located since I don't have many volcanoes on there. So it is located here, and the volcanoes are down here. So I don't have any volcanoes listed within this area here. So it's closer to Ecuador. So let's go back up. Not sure, do I have Ecuador on here? Oh, I did, but I don't know where they are. Oh, well, I don't have them, but let's go back to the video. Okay, so anyway, that was northern Peru. Okay, so that was a 4.7, 106 kilometers deep. Our next earthquake was a 5.0 in Fiji. It was 546 kilometers deep, so it was a deepie. And this one was 223 kilometers east northeast of Lavuka, population 8,300. So this is Fiji, and you can see over here we have the continental rift boundary, the continental transform fault, oceanic spreading rift, and the oceanic transform fault. These all have to do with plate boundaries movement and much more. And you can see the islands out here. This is Tervuka Island. Our next earthquake was a 4.9 South Sandwich Islands region. It was 24 kilometers deep and 2,189 kilometers east of Stanley Falkland Islands. So this is the South Sandwich Islands. And before, we had had an earthquake down in here. Then we had had one out here. We have one here now. And this is the volcanoes that run along here. And we also have the convergent arrow, which shows that the plate moves this way. And this is the subduction zone. This is the oceanic transform fault here. That's the oceanic spreading rift there. Oceanic transform fault. Oceanic spreading rift. So there's two oceanic spreading rifts here. Then we had a 4.5 in the Kermadec Islands. It was 365 kilometers deep and was 624 kilometers northeast of Carrigan, New Zealand, population 8,000. And I'm not using GeoNet right now. So I'm going to go look on GeoNet and see if I can look it up real quick. So this is going to be outside of the oceanic spreading rift here. So let's go look on GeoNet. Okay. And I'm looking on GeoNet to see if it'll show up. I see a 4.1 close down that way, but that's not it. We had the 4.3, and it was March 13th, 2023. So that may or may not be it. Depending, our time today is the 13th. So it's the 13th here in the United States. So I'm not sure if that would be posted as the 13th, but it'd be the 14th here. Anyways, I mean the 13th here, but it would be the 13th there because it's the 14th there. If that makes sense. Anyways, this one, this one occurred 7 hours and 40 minutes ago. The next earthquake was a 4.6 southern Iran. It was 10 kilometers deep. It was 38 kilometers east-northeast of Moor, Iran. Population 35,000. This area looks hilly. We have a town over here. That looks like a dry river bed that goes through there. Anyways, not much to see there. Okay, moving on to the next one. There was a 4.1 off east coast of New Zealand. Okay, we showed this one in the last video right here. So we're going to show it again. I mean, in the last earthquake. So that is this one here, which is magnitude 4.1. Now, what I'm thinking is that last earthquake that happened in the chromatics, maybe it didn't show up. I don't know. I'm going to leave that up in case there's another one. And this was 68 kilometers west-northwest of Hicks Bay, New Zealand, population 1,300. So we can see where this earthquake is occurring. This is White Island right here. It's a stratovolcano. And this is a continental rift boundary. Over here, we have the subduction zone. Here we have oceanic spreading rift. Okay, so we're moving on to the next one. We have a 4.7 in Luzon, Philippines. It was 10 kilometers deep. This here is the oceanic transform fault. And this volcano here is compound volcano, and its name is Labo. Can't really see it much. There's a lot of cloud cover there. Moving on to our next one. If we have a next one, we had a 4.5 Luzon, Philippines. It was 30 kilometers deep, 25 kilometers northeast of Fayetteville, Philippines. Population 78,100. That looks like it's in the same area as the last one. That's the oceanic transform fault. That's Dayet there, so that's the town that it's closest to. And this is compound volcano again, and it's Labo, so it's within the same area. Then we had a 4.0, Western Xinjiang, China, 10 kilometers deep, 216 kilometers south of Agen, China. And this is a water area. Notice Luktua Lake. That's still one of the things that I noticed, that earthquakes occur near water. So these are lakes here and mountains. And then we had a 4.2, Queen Charlotte Island region, 10 kilometers deep. And it was 210 kilometers southwest of Port Rupert, Canada, population 14,700. So we can see that this earthquake is occurring on the continental convergent boundary right next to it. And we'll get a good look at the area here. You can see that it is mountainous. And this right here is a continental transform fault there. And next one was a 4.8 in the Kuril Islands. It was 100 kilometers deep, 76 kilometers northeast of Kursk, Russia. Now this is hitting near Demon Volcano, stratovolcano. Never heard of that one before. But this volcano is named Demon Volcano. And this is a subduction zone. So see if we see any arrows. Yep, it subducts this way into the Sea of Oshkosh. Oshkosh, I think that's the name it's pronounced. The next one was in the Kuril Islands also. It was a 4.8. It was 100 kilometers deep and 76 kilometers northeast of Kursk, Russia. Population 1,800. So I'm certain it's probably going to be within the same area. Yeah, the location just moved just a little bit. So that's Demon Volcano. So it just moved over just a tad bit. Then we have a 4.6 off the coast of central Peru. And this is the last one for this morning's update. Now, stay tuned because there will be other things on this video besides earthquakes. Okay, this earthquake is off of Peru. And that's the subduction zone. And that is a continental rift boundary here. All right, you guys. So we're talking about Mount Merapi volcano. And Indonesia's Mount Merapi volcano erupted and it spewed a hot ash cloud. The volcano located in Indonesia's Jakarta special region erupted at around 12 p.m. local time, and the lava flowed 1.5 kilometers, and it was observed. The residents in the nearby community have been warned to stop any activities in the danger zones ranging between 3 and 7 kilometers radius from the crater. This is Mount Merapi here. Mount Merapi is a stratovolcano. So I figured if there's any views, we'll go look at it. So let's see here. There is one on the top. Maybe. Okay, beautiful view. We're up in the air. So this is Mount Merapi. This is the top of Mount Merapi. This would be the cinder cone up here, or the cone. And then looking down, let's get out of there. Woo! Okay, let's see if there's any more views on this. I was looking for something with a little bit more view, but let's see. There's people here. So that's the volcano there. Eh. Sometimes this works and sometimes it don't. Okay, so it's acting funky. Okay, I have to close that real quick. Sorry, you guys, my Mount Merapi wanted to mess up. So anyways, this volcano erupted 2 days ago, and it blanketed villages in ash. And the other volcano that we need to be watching is Kilauea, even though authorities are now saying that they don't expect Kilauea to erupt. They are still watching to make sure that it doesn't resume erupting at any time soon. Um, the fact is, it's was erupting for 61 days and then it stopped. So a day ago, Big Island now said that they don't expect the volcano to continue to resume. However, officials are warning that it could resume erupting at any time. And both of those news articles were put out yesterday. I'm just going to briefly show this. So if you can see this, officials warn Hawaii's Kilauea volcano could resume erupting at any time. Look at the date on it. Eruption of Big Island's Kilauea volcano no longer likely to resume. I'm like, which one is it? Is it gonna or isn't it gonna? So just so you know, it could or it could not. So you guys, weather is becoming a big factor. Just gonna leave this on my last video's update here. But weather is becoming a big factor. A nor'easter is threatening New York City and the Northeast with severe winter weather. Um, it's expected to bring heavy snow, significant winter weather likely to impact New York City, Boston, and other parts of the East Coast. A powerful nor'easter is threatening to slam New York City, Boston, and other parts of the Northeast with heavy snow and gusting winds from Monday through Wednesday. The storm is forecast to dump 2 inches of snow per hour in some areas with strong winds that will produce dangerous to impossible travel. The National Weather Service Weather Prediction Center said Monday. There is still some uncertainty regarding how close to the coast the storm tracks and where the snow rain line sets up and how fast the storm intensifies. Power outages down trees are likely due to heavy wet snow combined with minimum wind gusts of up to 50 miles per hour. The impact of the winter storm is expected to be felt from New York City to Boston along the I-95 corridor. More than 12 inches of snowfall is expected in the Catskills and southern Adirondacks in New York State, Berkshire, and Worcester Hill in Massachusetts, Monadnocks and White Mountains in New Hampshire, and southern Green Mountains in Vermont. Whiteout conditions are likely in the hardest hit areas, with coastal flooding also a possibility. Okay. And that, along with the fact that California has been having some severe weather. Sorry, you guys. Um, they're having another winter storm as thousands are without power now. Thousands of California residents remain without power after a weekend of heavy rain and flooding as yet another storm bears down on the state. Heavy rainfall is expected to sweep across the state on Monday and intensify on Tuesday. Hear that, intensify on Tuesday. So it's not going to get less, it's going to get more. Um, Particularly across its northern and central regions. At least 13 people have died so far amid storms that have hit the state in quick succession. Parts of the East Coast are also currently under a winter storm watch. Some counties in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut could see as much as 10 inches of snow on Monday or 25 centimeters on Monday, the National Weather Service said. Further snowfall is also anticipated in western Wisconsin and much of Minnesota, where the twin cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul have already recorded 80 inches of snow this winter, their eighth snowy season on record. California starts the week with its 11th atmospheric river storm since late December. That's a lot of rain. Atmospheric rivers are narrow bands of moisture that produce heavy rainfall and snow when they make landfall. These weather systems occur when water evaporates into the air and is carried along by wind, forming long currents that flow in the sky like rivers flow on land. So that's a little bit of an update as to what a atmospheric river is. It's a very heavy rainfall. Um, They occur when water evaporates into the air and is carried along by the wind, forming long currents that flow in the sky like rivers flow on land. They can cause severe rains and mountain snow. Atmospheric rivers are also partly to blame for the torrential rains in California this winter. So let's talk about the bank crashes that are going on. Um, the U.S. government has moved to stop potential banking crisis as of yesterday. And Silicon Valley collapse put a new spotlight on Trump's banking law. Um, there's been a lot going on, especially with lots of banks having problems right now. Um, the Silicon Silicon Valley bank collapse put a spotlight on a 2008 bank deregulation law. Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren, who led the push against the Trump era law, now wants to restore those rules on financial institutions. Biden is also calling for Congress to act. Washington, the failures of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank are putting new scrutiny on a 2018 law that rolled back some of the banking regulations, with some Democrats calling to restore those rules as the federal government steps in to protect depositors. Congress, the White House, and bank regulators should reserve the dangerous bank deregulation of Trump era, repealing the 2018 legislation that weakened the rules for banks like SVB must be an immediate priority for Congress, Senator Elizabeth Warren, D. Massachusetts, wrote in a New York Times opinion piece on Monday. Republican Katie Porter, Democrat, California, who is running for Senate, said she's working on legislation in the House to reverse the 2018 law, which was led by Republicans and signed by then President Donald Trump. Congress, in a bipartisan vote, caved to Wall Street and loosened our nation's banking laws. I have no problem standing up to Wall Street, so I'm writing legislation to reverse that risky law. And then there's been a fight over the 2018 law. Back in 5 years ago, Warren was the most outspoken opponent of the Republican-led Congress push to undo regulations imposed under the 2010 Dodd-Frank law for small and mid-sized banks. Back then it also had Senator Bernie Sanders, who was also opposed to the 2018 law, blamed it for Silicon Valley Bank's collapse. So there's a lot going on about the banks right now. Um, the government moved to stop potential banking crisis as of yesterday. The FDIC will protect all Silicon Valley bank deposits after sudden collapse, so they are protecting them. And also, Bank of America, I noted today, is one of the banks that people are actually watching. They took a small dive last week, not big, but a small dive. And Silicon Valley could precipitate a banking crisis. If anybody's watching this closely, what it is, and this is going by a site that I'm reading, how it works. Banks don't keep deposits in a vault. They lend them out to businesses and individuals. So depositors ask for all their money back at once, as they did at SVB. The bank is likely to fail. Corporate America just got a stark reminder that none of their deposits are insured above 250,000 by the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. Now, my understanding is if you have two people on that account, both people are insured. So it would be up to 500,000. So anyways, just keep an eye on things. Looks like the federal government is going to keep things afloat so far as I've been watching this and keeping an eye on my bank account, as everybody should be doing. Okay, so I'm back about 4 hours ago, 4 hours and 32 minutes ago. We talked about the earthquake near the coast of central Peru. So that one has already been talked about. It was a 4.7, 10 kilometers deep. And we're looking to see our next one, which is a 4.0 off the coast of North Island, New Zealand. So we'll put this in. It was 33 kilometers deep and 275 kilometers north-northeast of Hicks Bay, New Zealand. And we'll also go and look on GeoNet. So this earthquake occurred between the continental rift boundary and the subduction zone. Closest closest volcano is a submarine volcano by the name of Rumble 3. Okay, so we are going to go look on GeoNet. And see what they have for this earthquake. Let's see how many hours ago this earthquake, this 4.0 occurred. It was 2 hours and 47 minutes ago. So we're looking 2 hours and 47 minutes ago. There's the 4.0, and it was 33 kilometers deep, 270 kilometers east northeast of Taroa. That does not appear to be it. That's 3 hours ago. That one is here. So I am not seeing that unless it is this one. Yep, I think it's that one. It's a 4.1, 12 kilometers deep. So I believe that may be it. The only 4.0 I'm finding on GeoNet is this 4.0, 2 hours ago, between the two islands. So let's look again. This one is showing it's here, but I'm not seeing the one here. So maybe it's still on here. So let's look some more. Sorry, guys, I'm looking for something. Looks like Yellowstone National Park has been having quite a few earthquakes. So there was a 3.5 also. So let's see where this one is. I'm thinking this is the one that I was showing that's between the two islands. Yep, that it's off to the side. So on GeoNet, if you look, shows one here. That's not it. Shows a 3.5 here. That one is on land. Mine places it out here. Okay, well, that's interesting. That's a 5.5. That's a 3.7 that occurred today. So I'm assuming that that one is it. That's a 3.7. And it's right here. So that's the 3.7, 33 kilometers deep, 230 kilometers southeast of Castle Point. So that is this 281 kilometers east southeast of Castle Point. So those are two are the same earthquakes. So that is it out here. And that is off of the subduction zone. So this area is subducting. If you can see the arrows. Okay, so we move on to the next ones. All right, I'm going to go back just a little bit. We had a 2.6 in Texas. It was 7 kilometers deep. And looks like a bunch of oil areas. You can back out and see all the pads. Nothing new with Texas. The roads. This area over here is a volcanic field. It's an old one though. There was just a 5.1 in southern Peru 18 minutes ago. Okay, so let's look at Yellowstone National Park here. This one was 9 kilometers deep, 6 kilometers east southeast of West Yellowstone. So this is Yellowstone caldera over here. This is the caldera, so it's Yellowstone. This is where the earthquake is occurring. You can see there is a river, or not a river, but a stream or river, whatever it is, runs through here. This is Two Ribbons, and this is Riverside over here. Let's give y'all a view. So you can see it's not all flat. There is hills back in here. Just looking around, you guys. This is where the Norris Geyser Basin Museum is over here. Okay, next one. That was a 2.2. The next one was a 2.7, and it was in the same place. And the next one was a 2.0, and it was in the same place. Then we had a 4.2 off the coast of Peru. It was 35 kilometers deep, 111 kilometers southwest of Santiago de Cayo. This one is out to sea here. And this is a subduction zone. I got all of these lines and stuff through USGS along with the arrows. So they are downloadable. You can download them for use on Google Earth. And it's kind of neat to know which way things converge. This here is a Cocos plate. I'd like to find one where I can put a name on each plate, like this is Pacific and this is the Atlantic, but I'd like to know the exact names of the plates and be able to add them to Google Earth, which would be kind of cool. Okay, missed the 4.3. So there was a 4.3 off the coast of Jalisco, Mexico. It was 10 kilometers deep, 158 kilometers southwest of San Patricio, Mexico. Population 7,500. This one is sitting at the oceanic convergent boundary, and the subduction zone. And it's right on the Sandwell Ridge. That's what this green line is the Sandwell Ridge. The Sandwell Ridge goes all the way down to here. Sandwell Ridge, digitized ridges and transform faults from mature spreading ridge plate boundaries. These ridges were digitized to investigate ridge segments versus spreading rate, which is kind of cool. And you can download that as well. Okay, we had a 5.3, southern Peru. This one appears to be in the mountain areas. And there are houses over here. Okay, let's look at Oregon Live Earthquake Map. See if anything's happened across the United States. You can see that on the 12th, which was yesterday, there was a 4.4 up here by the Canada region. So I expect there'll probably be some activity down in here, down to this area. Looking across the United States here. Yellowstone had quite a few. This is Yellowstone. That's the 12th. Don't think I'll be able to click all of them. That's the 13th today at 2.6, a 0.85, a 0.77, a 0.4, a 0.4, a 0.5. There's just a whole swarm right here, so and pull back. You can see where this whole swarm's going on on the border. I think there's also one up here. That's on the 11th, though. I enjoy using this map to look up stuff. The 12th was yesterday. There was a 2.2 northern Alaska. What I'm noting is that is hitting on the lines that coming down. And that 4.4 that happened yesterday. That's the 13th, so there's a 4.2 that occurred today. And there was a 4.4 yesterday. So I'm expecting one to be down here somewhere to this area. Because you can see the 3.4 was here on the 10th. And then this is the 13th. This is the 12th. So I'd be watching out along this coast here. Probably for about the same range earthquake. And may even be over in this area where my mouse is. Anyways, that's my update for today. I hope y'all are doing well. Um, Please take good care of yourselves and each other. Much love.